Jerry parked his bike against the wooden bench in front of his uncle's gas station. It was a cubicle building typical of garages built back in the 1940s. As he rushed in the door, a bell rang that meant a patron had driven into the pumps. This sound alerted Clem, Uncle Bart's 18-year-old assistant, to leave whatever he was doing and jog out to pump gas. "Oh, hello, Jerry," said his uncle, who was sitting behind an old desk covered with fan belts, brake shoes, and other automotive debris. "I've been running the numbers on your ragtop." "Ragtop?" questioned the boy, not sure of what he was referring to as he sat down on an old bench that had come from the back of a military truck. "That is what we used to call our convertibles. Back in the day, manufacturers used to make sedans and convertibles. The sedans had a post between the back window and the front door. The convertibles did not have a post between the back and the front window. The windows would roll up with both pieces of glass touching each other with a seal on the back window to keep out the rain. Later they decided to make a car with a more sporty look. It had a metal top that was permanent, but they took out the center post and had a convertible-style windows. They called that a hardtop. Well, with our limited budgets, by the time we bought the convertibles, the tops were pretty much shredded, so we called them ragtops." Jerry laughed at the concept. "Now I got you. You're talking about the Chevy 2. "Right. I've been doing the estimated expenses to turn this hulk into a drivable car, and after that is calculated, we have to compare it to a drivable car with a PA state inspection done. I have checked the newspaper want ads, and I saw one completely restored for $5,000. That is what he's asking for. A lot of guys put big bucks in an old car, and then he tries to get it back. A 1963 Chevy 2 is 27 years old. Convertibles are desirable, so that lifts up demand. Prices are driven by demand and supply. Many of the old convertibles have deteriorated from all those years out in the weather. That lowers supply. Man, there's a lot to consider." "Well, I'm just getting started." Markets determine price, and people like to impress their friends. Old cars are interesting, but they don't knock their friends' socks off like a brand new model with the latest gadgets. Old Chevy 2s have reached a point where you see them parked outside of auto parts stores with a sign on that reads, "No run, we'll pick up tomorrow." That will change over the next few years. You think so? As more and more of them get scrapped, there will be fewer around. While that's going on, kids like you grow up and want something unique and affordable. In a few years, those factors will raise the price, increase demand, and reduce supply, Uncle Bart went on. The air compressor started to hammer as a result of Clem raising the lift. "How did you learn all this?" asked Jerry. "I was a business major at Kutztown for 3 years. I don't know if you ever heard the story. I was going to college and my dad had a heart attack. He survived, but he could not run the station. I came back to keep things going. After that, your Aunt Karen and I got married. Then we had your cousin Betsy. With all that going on, I was never able to complete my degree. I knew you went to college, but I didn't know what you studied. I wished I had been able to finish. However, the things I learned up there, were invaluable in my day-to-day operations. If you don't know the solution to a problem, then you have to calculate the best way to go. But back to the ragtop. You could probably find a car in decent condition for between $1,500 and $2,000. Maybe you'd have to go up to $2,500. Now the next question is, how much do you have now? What do you have? I have about $50 put away, answered Jerry reluctantly. You've been cutting grass for people this past summer and fall. What happened to all the dough? Asked Uncle Bart. Well, I spent it. All right, let's examine this. How did you get from much did you get from mowing the lawn? A lawn. I got $10 per lawn. How long did it take you to mow a lawn? Usually it would take 2 hours. Okay, how many lawns a week? His uncle asked while tapping on his calculator. 2 a week, I would say. So, you would have brought in $50 a month, $80 a month, and over 6 months, you brought in $480. We will not factor in gasoline and repairs just to keep things simple. You can see there is $430 that is not around. What was it spent on? Well, Sammy and I hang around Augie's Burger Drive-In, and we stop at the arcade to play Rocket Attack. It goes fast, explained Jerry. I hear you. I am sure it does not stay around long. If I were your financial advisor, I would have you write down all your expenses in a little pocket notebook and add them up at the end of the month to see your cash movement. But here, we're just going to try to figure out the best way to go to buy this car. You mean it's still doable? Jerry asked hopefully. So far, we are looking at the feasibility of a complete car versus a start-from-scratch car. At your current rate of income, it would take several years to buy a shoebox convert. I am not even considering a loan with interest expenses. But if you wanted to buy a complete ready to drive, you would have to get a better job and tighten up your spending patterns. Yeah, it would be hard to get a real job and make that kind of money. I still have school for most of the day. I guess it would not be practical. Right, I think that's a sensible conclusion. Now we will look at the possibility of building up the Chevy 2 tub. To start, you would need $150 to make the $200 Tom wants for the car. I've done the calculations for what it would take to put it on the road, and it is feasible because you would be doing all the labor yourself. Parts for those cars are cheap. Are you serious? Exclaimed Jerry, seeing an opening in the clouds. Yes, it's kind of strange that this situation has arisen right now. Clem is going to night classes at Montco Community College. I figured I could handle the station while he was away, but every time I get started on a project like an oil change, the bell rings. I need to hire a replacement. You could fill in several nights a week. You would take me on? I have to get somebody, and I know you're not far away, and you are reliable. I can advance you $150 to land the Hulk. At $5 per hour, you would have me paid back in a couple of months. I will work extra hard. You'll see, cheered Jerry, leaping off the bench. As I said, I have to get somebody. This would be helping me, and it would be helping you. But you have to keep your studies rolling. But I can get a used desk, and you can do your homework right here. If you get stumped, I can help you get through it. Business is picking up. President Bush is putting plans in play to pull the economy out of recession, and they are working. But back to the white convert. We will have to scout around for a Chevy 2 sedan. I recommend a 1964 because the axles have 5 lugs. I will explain that strategy as we move along. We will see if we can find one with a straight rear bumper. The front bumper is more likely to be found in a junkyard. By scrounging around a big yard like Easy Yank up in Hamburg, we can find a Nova where the front seat cover was redone before it was towed in. A sedan has a roof that will protect the material. We will have to be on the lookout for one with a good seat and the doors and windows were shut. I really thank you, Uncle Bart, for the advance in the job opportunity, and your knowledge and suggestions will make this project a success. I can see it all now. Well, it'll be a lot of thinking and work. But when you are done, you will know every inch of a box Nova. When you are driving around and you hear a strange noise, you will know where to look. And beyond all that, when you put your time into playing video games, you are producing nothing. If you put your time into a project that will have value, you are gaining wealth. Every hour you are alive can be used constructively or on activities with no return. I will keep that in mind, said the boy, stunned by the gravity of the thought. By the way, in the beginning, only the top-of-the-line models were called Novas. The basic cars were numbers. Then later, Chevrolet named them all Novas. With the passing of time, people refer to box Chevy 2s as Novas. The Hulk has no wheels. What is the best way to get it home? Asked Jerry, thinking ahead to the possession of his dream. I figure our best bet is to go over there with the truck with a flatbed trailer. There's a drive that wraps around to the second floor in the back. If we can round up 6 guys with 3 2x4s, we can carry it out to the trailer. You and Sammy and I plus your dad would make 4. Tom will have to be there to do the papers and at the tag place. Maybe Tom's granddad would offer to help, and I will cover the title charge fees and just add it on to what you owe me, went on the mechanic. I can't see any other obstacles. I think we have this project under control. Man, that car is going to be cool, stated Jerry. A '63 Convert is the coolest car in existence.